Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Author Spotlight. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating author. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hello, I'm Samantha. I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and this is my story. So I grew up going to high school and struggled in school because I couldn't concentrate very well. I had issues with my vision, and I was a bit of a daydreamer, so that kept me into a bit of trouble. So I found some relief from poetry in my later years. So I got into it when I was 19, and that's when I started writing some poems with lots of imagery, and I got a lot of support from family and friends from it. So that was great, being a small content creator. And I came out with my first book, Kazoo, in 2019. And then later on, I published a second book called Meadowlight. And that also received reception from friends and family. So that was good. And I've still been writing poems since then to hopefully create a third book. So I grew up in a small community town called Dunbar. So I have a mother and a father and a younger brother, and they were very supportive growing up. And I was involved in basketball in high school. I played badminton. I would also like to browse through some thrift stores. And I had a dog and a cat growing up. I always had like 3 consecutive ones, a golden retriever, and then an orange tabby cat. So that was kind of nice growing up with a routine, you would call it. And I also had a fairly regular routine, kind of going to school, doing a sport later on, and then dinner. I would hang out with friends too on the weekends, so that was great. A lot of my friends have moved away now, so it's a lot harder to meet people, I find, in the city, and really like spread the word about my books. Like one of my books is at the central branch of the downtown library, my first book, Kazoo. So that's really good to know. But local bookstores haven't received the second book yet. I guess they're just not as into it as the first book. So that's something I'm trying to reflect on and maybe work on the third book to be better that way. And I had supportive teachers too. Even though I would struggle in school, they would help me and they would just guide me and provide me with pointers, like using cue cards to help memorize for tests and things. What inspires me to write would be usually when something wrong happens and a bad day I experience. That's what kind of triggers me to put it down on paper and pen or on my computer and really write about something while it's fresh, as opposed to if a day went really well and there wasn't as much going on internally. And yes, I draw inspiration from many local poets or Canadian poets like Atticus and Rupi Kaur. And Atticus and Rupi Kaur come to mind for me. Just their use of words and imagery. It's really refreshing to see.
You transitioned into writing. What was the motivation to transition from public relations and event planning to becoming an author and a freelance writer?
Yes, I found the transition from going into public relations to becoming a freelance writer was based on the work that I found. A lot of people were looking for those writing health articles and pop culture. And that's what I gravitated towards based on my education experience. Is one of my strengths is my writing. So that's where I left off.
And when you were in events planning, you worked for diverse organizations. What are some of the most memorable events that you helped to organize, and what made them stand out?
Yes, some memorable events that I organized was a charity fundraiser for the Cause We Care Foundation with my post-secondary school, Kwantlen Polytechnic University. And it was just a really good working with the cohort and coming up with fundraising activities and just finding a suitable venue for it for about like 200 people. So it was a really nicely attended event.
That's awesome. And have you used that experience now in building your own business as an author? Are you finding that you can draw on those strengths?
Yes, I'm finding the ways of marketing a good way to draw on my strengths um, to promote the books I have that I published. And it's just kind of getting the more of a reach to other people besides family and friends is what I'm struggling with right now.
So, can you describe a time when you successfully attracted a significant media coverage, either for one of your own events or for the organizations you worked with? And what strategies did you use?
Yes, sometimes that I with the media coverage included with the ALS Society of BC. They had a little gala for the volunteers who really showed how important the cause was to them. And so we took photographs of them and printed blurbs out, pitched them to local media newspapers, and they were picked up. So that was very successful.
That must have been a rewarding feeling.
Yes, it was very rewarding.
Now, writing for, I'm not going to know if I pronounce this right. Is it Prism Media and
Prison media.
Valnet? Yes. How did your experiences as an author and a freelance writer shape your writing style and professional development with them?
Yes, writing as an author really shaped my writing style with Prism Media and Valnet Inc. Because they had such a structure to begin with. Like you had to conform to a word count. You had to touch on the subject matter and really get your points across in point form and really elaborate on it. So that's what I took away and kind of brought it into my own writing by just, instead of having such a structure, kind of getting away from that structure and making it more imaginative.
So it really stretched you and expanded you even more.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I love it. Let's talk about your poetry. What themes or experiences do you explore in your poetry? If I could take you to go and meet the future you, and you're now 90 years old, based on what you want to do with your writing career, are you going to continue writing more books? Is this something that you want to do until the day you die? If you could go and have a conversation with a 90-year-old you, what would you say to her based on the inspiration that is coming through with your writing right now?
Yes, if I could have a conversation with my 90-year-old self, it would be to tell her to keep on writing, especially at that age. I can't imagine the amount of wisdom I'd have and what I would, the amount of life experience you would have to share with others. So I think that would be great. Even just dictating it and then someone else can write it out for you would be good. Yeah, I think the wisdom and just being kind to others would be good, is what I would hope for my 90-year-old self as well.
Yeah, I think now writing has become so much easier with all of the AI technology that's out there as well, right?
Yes.
There's so many aids that can help you. You can record yourself speaking. It can get transcribed. So it's really quite inspiring to see what will be available in 90 years' time as well. I'm really looking forward to it. So where can people buy your books? Where are your books available?
So both my books, Kazoo and Meadow Light, are available on blurbookstore.com. So that's where and on Amazon, but those two.
And if people want to get hold of you personally, what's the best way?
Through my blog, samanthamerz.wordpress.com.
Okay, great. So I'm sharing your blog URL at the bottom of the screen. If anybody's inspired to connect with Samantha, please reach out to her through her blog and follow her through social media and just encourage her to keep on writing and expressing herself. This has been really fascinating connecting with you today, Samantha.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming online. And thank you to everybody who's tuned in today. The Author Spotlight is a platform that brings you the stories and books of authors from all over the world. We share our literary works to inspire you, uplift you, energize you. So please tune in again tomorrow when I interview yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now. Thanks again, Samantha.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.